Hello and welcome to BYJU'S IAS. Let's get started with our daily quiz and look at question number 1. But before that, the context. Prime Minister Mr. Modi announced that Parliament will repeal the 3 controversial farm laws. But the farmers are adamant on their other demands, and one such demand is that there should be a statutory backing, a legal backing to MSP or minimum support price. Let's look at the question. Consider the following statements. Number 1, MSP is the price that government agencies pay whenever they procure the particular crop. The center currently fixes MSPs for 23 farm commodities. And statement number 3, the government is legally bound to pay MSP when the open market price of the crop falls below the announced floor price. Which of the above statements is or are incorrect? MSP, yes, it is the price that the government agencies pay whenever they procure the particular crop. This is some sort of an insurance cover for a farmer. Statement number 2, the center currently fixes MSPs for 23 farm commodities. This is also correct. Out of these 23 farm commodities, 7 are cereals, 5 pulses, 7 oilseeds, and 4 commercial crops. Which are these commercial crops can be important for your prelims examination? Cotton, sugarcane, copra, and raw jute. And the center fixes MSPs based on the recommendation of CACP, which is Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices. But the statement number 3 is incorrect because MSP does not have a legal backing. The government is not legally bound to pay MSP when the open market price of the crop falls below the announced price. So which of the above statements are incorrect? C, only 3 is the right answer. Now let's look at question number 2, but first up, the context. Ex-Mumbai Police Commissioner is still in the country. He has not left the country. The Supreme Court has granted interim relief to Mr. Parambir Singh from arrest. We need to understand Article 22 of the Constitution talks about a fundamental right which deals with protection from arrest and detention in certain cases. The Supreme Court in numerous judgments have said that jail is an exception, bail is the norm. And the golden rule of criminal justice system is you are innocent until proven otherwise. Let's look at the question. Consider the following statements. Article 22 of the Constitution deals with protection against arrest and detention in certain cases. Correct. Statement number 2. All laws in India assume an accused to be innocent until proven otherwise. But this statement is incorrect because not all laws assume an accused to be innocent until proven otherwise. For example, we have NDPS Act of 1985, Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act of 1985. This is the law which assumes an accused to be guilty. It is for the accused to prove that this individual is innocent. So you're assumed to be guilty unless and until you are proven innocent. That is why in such cases it is very difficult to secure bail. Which of the above statements are correct? A, only 1 is the right answer. Let's look at question number 3. Committee of experts under the chairmanship of Justice B.N. Srikrishna deals with D, personal data protection. What is the context? This is today's The Hindu newspaper. Few years ago, there was a draft bill crafted by Justice Srikrishna Committee of Experts, and it was submitted to the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology way back in the year 2018. But then there is another bill called Personal Data Protection Bill of 2019. And this bill is right now under the scrutiny of Joint Parliamentary Committee or JPC. And there are critics who say that the draft bill prepared by Justice Srikrishna Committee is different, is at odds with the bill which is currently under discussion at the JPC. So there is a lot of debate going on the Personal Data Protection Bill. When this bill is passed, we will have an elaborate discussion on this bill. But as of now, Justice B.N. Srikrishna Committee deals with personal data protection. D is the right answer. Now let's look at question number 4. Which of the following statements is or are correct? Number 1, Paramveer Chakra, Mahavir Chakra and Veer Chakra were instituted by the Government of India on 26th January 1950. Statement 2, these Gallantry Awards are announced twice in a year, first on the occasion of the Republic Day and then on the occasion of the Independence Day. 3. The recommendation for Gallantry Awards is invited by the Ministry of Defense twice in a year from the Armed Forces and the Union Ministry of Home Affairs. All these statements are correct. D is the right answer. What is the context? The context is President gives away Gallantry Awards. But let's look at something else. On 26 January 1950, 3 Gallantry Awards were instituted by the Government of India. Paramveer Chakra, Mahavir Chakra and the Veer Chakra. And they were given effect from the 15th of August 1947 when we attained independence. Thereafter, 3 Gallantry Awards, Ashok Chakra Class 1, Class 2 and Class 3 were instituted by the Government of India. But then, in the year 1967, these 3 awards were renamed as Ashok Chakra, Kirti Chakra and the Shaurya Chakra. If you look at the order of precedence of these awards, the highest is Paramveer Chakra, then Ashok Chakra, then Mahavir Chakra, then Kirti Chakra, then Veer Chakra and the Shaurya Chakra. But if you're confused, I will clarify your confusion. If you look at Paramveer Chakra, Mahavir Chakra and the Veer Chakra, all these 3 Gallantry Awards, they are basically wartime Gallantry Awards. And Ashok Chakra, Kirti Chakra and Shaurya Chakra, they are peacetime Gallantry Awards. This is an important statement that can be relevant for your prelims examination. Now let's look at a previous year's question paper, Prelims 2021. Under the Indian Constitution, concentration of wealth violates. If you look at part 4 of the Constitution, which deals with directive principles of state policy, there are 2 important characteristics of DPSPs. Characteristic number 1, they are not enforceable in a court of law. And characteristic number 2, they are fundamental for the governance of the country. That is why it shall be the duty of the state to implement these directive principles of state policy. And Article 39 Clause C specifically talks about that the operation of our economic system or means of production should not result in the concentration of wealth to a common detriment. That means should not result in the concentration of wealth in fewer hands, which means under the Indian Constitution, concentration of wealth violates B, the directive principles of state policy. Now let's look at the fact of the day, dengue. What is the context? Dengue cases cross 7,000 mark in the city of Delhi. In this year's personality test of the Civil Services examination, one of our students was asked specifically about dengue. Dengue infection is caused by virus and it commonly occurs as dengue fever. And this dengue fever occurs following the bite of an infected mosquito known as Aedes aegypti. This is the same mosquito which also transmits chikungunya, yellow fever and the Zika infection. If a patient is suffering from dengue fever, but dengue fever also leads to bleeding, this is something that we call dengue hemorrhagic fever or DHF. Sometimes a patient suffering from DHF may also develop shock. Then it is called dengue shock syndrome. You need to understand 3 things. Number 1, dengue does not spread directly from person to person. Number 2, dengue mosquitoes, they bite during the day, throughout the day. And number 3, antibiotics won't help because this is primarily a viral disease, not a bacterial infection. That is why the treatment of dengue focuses on prevention of dengue rather than cure for dengue. That is it from our daily quiz segment. If you're liking these initiatives, press the like button, comment under these videos, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great evening.